Welcome back to a week in the life of a property investor, where in a matter of days I went from flying business class in Dubai to a reality check of painting a fence in Hull. And although I enjoyed business class, I wouldn't be able to do this without these property refurbs. And since then, my wife and newborn son have returned to Thailand whilst I've flown back to the UK for a short trip. My first task in the UK was to collect my company vehicle from Land Rover, where we were facing a potential court case due to an issue with the car's battery. But I'm happy to say that this issue has now been resolved and the car is running fine again. Whilst in the UK, I've been visiting some of my James Property University students as I'm personally helping them to build their own property portfolio. For example, Chris is from Essex but is looking to invest in student HMO properties in Hull like myself, so I went on some of the viewings with him and we're looking to place some offers very soon. I then went to Selcoast to buy some fence panels and then B&Q Trade Point for some external paint. The reason for this is so we can build a fence and paint it on the outside of my latest property to improve its curb appeal for the surveyor who's coming to value my property, as I'm preparing this house for a refinance so that I can pull out my money to go and buy another property. Refinancing is how landlords continually buy more properties without needing to sell. And here's a basic example of how this works. You firstly find the worst house on the street. So if these houses are worth £100,000, what I'll do is buy a rundown property like this for £60,000 because it needs a refurb. I'll then refurbish the property to add value, and to keep the numbers simple, let's just say it costs £15,000, bringing my total investment to £75,000. After the refurb, the new value of this property has increased to £100,000, which is the same value as the other properties on the street. And here's what the smart property investor does next. Instead of selling that property for £100,000, which he would pay tax on, either capital gains tax or corporation tax, he instead refinances 75% against the new value of his property, which is £75,000, which is the same amount the investor started with in the first place. This means the investor has pulled out all of his money back onto his bank account, which he can now reuse to go and buy another property. And because it's a refinance, which is a loan, there's no tax to pay on that £75,000. The landlord then puts in a tenant who pays rent to cover his mortgage plus a profit at the end of the month. This is the most powerful system in property, which we teach inside the James Property University. So if you're itching to get started in property and you need my personal support, then make sure you visit my bio now where you can sign up to join the JPU. And for more property investment tips like this, follow James Property.